All right, 6 rounds or less. Carolina in the black and white trunks. Johnson in the gold trunks. 31 years of age, 302 knockouts out of Houston, Texas. Quick work of Isaiah Glanson the last time out. And 22-5 as an Army 2022 National Golden Gloves champion. Also want to make a point, too. 4 years in the Navy, 2 deployments. So certainly thank him for his service. Told me late start to the game. Picked up the sport several years ago, 25, 26 years of age. Right hand. Just rocked back. Rafael moments ago, 30 seconds in this opening round. Scheduled for 6 or less. I mentioned good crowd this evening. Late filling crowd in Atlantic City on the Saturday night BXN GTV. The Next Generation, part of the Vire Network, Vire Sports Channel, gets social with us. Johnson just missed down below with a shot to the midsection. Rich Quinones calling the action tonight. We always appreciate everyone keeping with us throughout tonight's telecast, stack card. A lot of compelling fights, plus our main event, which we will highlight in a little more detail. Good right hand by Johnson. Midway through round number 1. Crew, as always, yeoman-like work. Boardwalk Hall, Atlantic City. Some historic fights. They're dubbing this card Tale of Garcia. Danny Garcia's New Swift Promotions. Right hand. Again downstairs by Johnson. You know listen, here's the game plan right now with $1:21 to go. You've got an opponent coming in very soft in the middle. Start to exploit that a little bit. Touch him up downstairs. Wait for that guard to drop a little bit. Be patient. That right hand should be there. And either way, if you start going up top, then of course the guard's going to come up. Then you start working that body a little more. Obviously, Carolina soft in the middle, under a minute to go in this opening round. Johnson has been the aggressor on offense. A lot more offensive in this one, under 30 seconds to go. Mentioning Carolina, 30 years of age, southpaw from Wendell, North Carolina. He had 2 straight fights against Eric Arleona, and they both were draws, go figure. Competitive fights, I'll say that. Prior to that, dropped 3 of 4. Last win was last July, so right around a year ago. One in the books. As for Johnson, a 31-year-old, 3-0, 2 knockouts. Made very fast work of Isaac Gleason. January floored him in the first. Really uses his jab smoothly, works behind it. Set up that right hand. We mentioned 22-5 as an Army, 2022 National Golden Glove champ, 4 years in the Navy, 2 deployments. We get set for round number 2. See if Johnson applies more pressure in this round. I think he saw some openings. I think he also had his feeling out with Carolina, and he realizes that the offense, the output, it's just not going to be there, so why not? Let me just outwork him a little bit, apply more pressure, and as I suspected, Johnson comes out, has Rafael backpedaling on that bicycle once again, 15 seconds in round number 2. You just got an opponent there that's a little uneasy, maybe unsure of himself right now. Johnson needs to exploit that. Good right hand. And that's set up just by touching down to that midsection a little bit. Tenderized the meat. Right hand again by Johnson. Right uppercut. That slipped through. Minute in, second round. I mentioned that the card tonight, a little mixed bag, couple debuters. We'll have a nice female co-attraction as well. Johnson starting to work over Carolina. Good shots up top. And then, listen, the main event, on paper, you might think it's a mismatch and kind of wants to come out and deliver that early knockout because that's who he is. Be really interesting to see if Quinton Sumter can get through the first couple rounds unscathed. And right now, Johnson is not allowing his opponent to get out of the second round unscathed, doing some real good damage. Letting his hands go and scoring midway through this second round. See if he gets back on that jab and works behind it. Right hand, another right hand. Carolina trying to get a little momentum. Ooh, good right hand one more time from Johnson. And he scored in the first round and a couple times in the second round, just missed with that right uppercut. With the aforementioned uppercut, he's trying to get Rafael to open up that guard a little bit, and you see the lacks of the defense right now. Good right hand once more. Strong right hand from Johnson. Under 20 seconds to go in this second round. I'm not going to say the round's been dominated by Johnson, but this is just a case like our last fight where you're just outworking your opponent. Straight right one more time just for good measure as we get a close to round number 2 in Atlantic City. So I did mention that co-main feature for the females, that is. Florencia Britos making her long-anticipated pro debut against Diaz Rhodes. That'll be 4 2-minute rounds. I'm excited to see that one. So 2 in the books, Carolina and Johnson. Encourage everyone to stay with us tonight on BXNG, the next generation, part of our Vior Network, Vior Sports Channel. Rich Quinones inside Atlantic City Boardwalk Hall. On a very competitive card, Danny Swift, New Swift Promotions presents Tale of Garcia. Round 3, Carolina and Johnson. Johnson looking good through 2 rounds. Pretty much the case early on in round number 3, as we saw in the previous 2. He's got Rafael backpedaling in the solid black trunks. Good body shot from Johnson in the gold trunks. Looking to move his mark to 4-0. And if you're Carolina, you have to not even show the resistance. Get on the stick, move around a little bit, because Johnson's been able to dictate the pace and the action, and he's pretty much taken Rafael wherever he wants to go. And that's what Rafael needs to do. He's got to get that work behind the jab a little more, tighten up that guard and that defense. Johnson's been able to open up with that right uppercut, good straight right. And he's been able to find a home for it. Sometimes all you need is just to keep pawing with that left hand. Bait your opponent. Give him something to think about midway through this third round. We are scheduled for 6. Left hand. That connected by Johnson. Neither fighter really has a substantial amount of pop behind these punches, right? Johnson scored a pair of knockouts in 3 pro fights. Okay, he's got a good knockout percentage, certainly. Rafael, 2-4-2 with just 1 knockout, and he's been floored as well. Johnson doing a good job against the southpaw. There's a good combination. There's that right hand we talked about. Under a minute to go, round number 3, just missed. Right uppercut, glancing shot, backing up. Carolina. Johnson digging a lot more to the body in this 3rd round. But again, you see it right there. You got an opponent, wide open mouth, huffing and puffing, gassed a little bit already as we close in on 3. Late stages. You got to take advantage of the fact that maybe he's just gassed. You apply pressure, overwhelm him. I'd like to see Johnson work the body a little more as we close in 3, midway point of this 6-round affair. So 3 in the books. Busy weekend in the world of sports. First period, Game 4, Stanley Cup. Scoreless between Florida and Edmonton. Florida looking to go for the sweep. 4-game sweep, if you will. Hoist their first Stanley Cup trophy. I mentioned very busy weekend in the world of boxing. BXN GTV. They're out and about down in Florida. Team Combat League. We got championship fights galore tonight, all over the place. And then right where we are tonight, ringside, Atlantic City, America's Playground. Very competitive card. And as we get set for round number 4 between Johnson and Carolina, Rich Quinones here. BXN GTV, the next generation, in association with Danny Swift, New Swift Promotions, Tale of Garcia. Johnson's been able to effectively work behind that jab. And I'm sure his corner implored him to mix up, even touch downstairs a little more. To Carolina's credit, he's hanging in there through 3. See if he can mount some offense, muster up something in round number 4, get himself back into this fight. You're scoring a fight like this, and we've seen it so many times. You've got 2 fighters. Maybe they're not blowing you away, right? Maybe Johnson's not blowing you away overall, but he's first to the punch. He's first. He's working behind the jab. He's been able to connect with some right uppercuts. He's working the body. Good left hand, as we just saw right there. And he's just more active. He keeps coming forward. Right there. Great right uppercut. That stung Carolina. Rocked him back. Best shot of the night from Johnson. And another combination. Starting to apply a little more pressure with $125 to go in round number 4. And this is what you want to see. Have that decisive round. Good right hand from Johnson. Rocks back. Rafael caught him again. Starting to really open up in this 4th round, under a minute to go. That right uppercut starting to find a home. Carolina got caught. Another left. All he can do is backpedal and retreat, not tying up. Needs to get that left out there, stick, move, get the paw. Try to stop Johnson in his tracks. Excellent last 2 minutes. of this round 4 by Johnson. See, even those little left shots, right? Not a ton on them, but they're annoying. They're making Carolina just decide, do I have to put my left guard up? Do I have to slip downstairs? Do I have to keep my body protected? Just enough to make him think a little bit, and Johnson's able to exploit that, take advantage of it, and score. Final 10, round number 4, scheduled for 6. A left hand that found a home by Rafael. And you can just see 4 rounds in, you've got Johnson, peak condition. Carolina a little more sluggish, walking back to the corner, taking his time a little bit, having a seat as we get set for round number 5. So that was a real clean and decisive round 4 by Johnson, 31 years of age, looking to go to 4-0 with a pair of knockouts. As I mentioned, 22-5 as an Army, 2022 National GG Clamp, 4 years in the Navy, 2 deployments. So 4 in the books. Round 5, Johnson in the gold trunks, tapered. Carolina in the black and white. And you see him getting that stick, Rafael, a little more on the defense. Right hand snuck through by Johnson. Ooh, left hand up top. Another scoring shot by Johnson. We're at the point of the fight where you say to yourself, do I really need to headhunt? Can I go downstairs, build a little equity in the bank? Slow my opponent down in his tracks. I think that right uppercut or that right hand is going to find a home for Johnson. See how he just leans off to the side a little bit to his left. He's just trying to open up for that right uppercut, trying to catch Carolina with that open guard. Minute in, round number 5. Rafael's corner probably told him, listen, you're down on the scorecards. Got to start generating some offense, muster some offense. But, of course, the rub is you got to be wary. You don't want to get caught. You don't want to leave yourself open. So it's a tough proposition right now. $135 to go in this 5th round. I think a mouthpiece came out. Scheduled for 6. I don't know if the referee saw, but I thought I did see, was it Johnson's mouthpiece that came out? I don't know. We'll see if we get a break in the action right here. So it was Carolina's mouthpiece, pardon me. All right, back to live action. Minutes going round number 5. Carolina doesn't have much on his shots at this point of the fight. But working, giving an honest effort. 35 seconds to go in this 5th round. Good right hand. Again, it's just sneaky right. Not a ton of damage, but these are scoring shots. And those are the shots that you want to see are a little more decisive. And they'll certainly be decisive in the eyes of the judges. You want to try to sway them. You want to give an honest effort in an honest round and make it easier for the judges to score, as we are 5 in the books between Carolina and Johnson in Atlantic City, New Jersey, America's Playground on a Saturday night. BXNG, the next generation. All right, 5 in the books. We'll get set for round number 6. Fourth fight of the evening. Don't forget our main event, Sonny Kondo, 8 rounds, heavyweights. Quinton Sumter, they'll touch him up between Carolina and Johnson. So I would say a workmanlike effort thus far through 5 for Johnson. And Carolina, to his credit, hung in there, showed some toughness. Just the outpunch, the output, the offensive output of Johnson is the difference tonight. But as I always caution and say, you know, we see how the judges score it. Right hand by Johnson. So Rafael, a 30-year-old southpaw. Mentioned had those 2 draws. Has dropped 3 of 4. And he's going to have to pull a rabbit out of the hat right now in round number 6. Have a couple really good fights, too, coming up after this one, leading up to our main event. Some highly touted young fighters on the card tonight. Miguel Roman, one of them. So just past the midway point of the 6th and final round, Carolina and Johnson. Also, we'll get a look at 18-year-old Juan Rivera. A lot of fanfare behind that teen. But that's all coming up later on. First things first, final minute 23. Round number 6 of this one. Johnson and Carolina, they'll get broken apart. Johnson did a good job tonight mixing his punches, his combination, his punch placement. Thought Carolina, again, early on in the fight, kept backpedaling. We saw Johnson take those early rounds, and that really puts a lot more pressure on you to try to come up with some type of offensive attack. And if it's not there, it's just not there. Right uppercut scored again by Johnson. Final 46. This 6th and final round, broken apart one more time. Doesn't always have to be pretty. Sometimes it's just a yeoman-like effort. Good right hand, another left by Johnson, opening up with under 20 seconds to go. You can just see the reserve, the extra juice right now. Johnson under 13 to go, closing the fight in style. And this is what you don't want to leave anything to chance. And if you thought it was a close fight, which I didn't, this pretty much makes it academic with a 10-8 round right now. So that's what you want to see in a fighter. Johnson just applied the pressure and just refused to give up a round, even the last 30 seconds. Good sportsmanship. They'll touch him up.